Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well, and welcome to an update on the Bitcoin and crypto situation. So in this video, I want to bring your attention to this specific chart of this crypto, and I want to explain to you what this is telling us here on this chart. And also, guys, in this video, I want to bring your attention to this specific chart as well and explain to you why I consider this to be quite important. So many of you have been asking me, apart from Bitcoin, Alessio, can you also comment on Ethereum? So today I'm going to actually fulfill that promise and talk to you a little bit about the Ethereum situation and its chart and how it relates to Elliott wave counts. Now, if you've been following my member videos, you probably know by now that I pay close attention to what happens to ETH, to Ethereum. Why? Why does it matter what Ethereum is doing? The reason is, it's quite interesting that this year, Ethereum has been actually a very good leading indicator for Bitcoin. For example, last year, you may recall, Litecoin was a very useful indicator or a leading indicator for Bitcoin. This year, however, Litecoin has been quite dismal and quite disappointing. But I found Ethereum actually to be a very important and useful leading indicator for Bitcoin. For example, if you take a look at this chart over here, we're comparing Bitcoin to Ethereum here. So the orange line you're seeing here, the orange line is Bitcoin. Okay, that's the orange line Bitcoin, and this magenta line here is Ethereum. And if you compare the two, you'll notice that usually, especially this year, we've seen strength in Ethereum before we see strength in Bitcoin. I'll give you an example. One of the things that kept me bullish on Bitcoin this year has been the unusual strength in Ethereum. If you take a look over here, notice that Ethereum made a high. In fact, Ethereum broke out above its summer highs at least 5 days, perhaps even a week before Bitcoin did. So notice that Ethereum broke out above its summer highs on July 22nd, whereas Bitcoin broke out above its summer highs actually a bit later, on July 27th. There it is, as you can see there. So again, here we can see Ethereum leading and Bitcoin lagging just behind slightly. So I find Ethereum, watching how its price action is moving, quite a useful leading indicator for Bitcoin. So one of the reasons I watch Ethereum even now is because of the fact I want to see if it's leading us in any specific direction. For example, if Ethereum at this point, let's imagine as an example, if Ethereum at this point were to take on a much more bullish direction, if for example I saw strong bullishness, and that could translate to strong bullishness in Bitcoin as well, especially if Ethereum starts breaking through resistance levels. On the other hand, if Ethereum starts moving lower and breaking through support before Bitcoin does that, that could be a leading sign of weakness for Bitcoin. So again, that's one of the reasons why I pay very close attention to what Ethereum is doing here, because it can give us special clues as to what Bitcoin is likely to do. And as I'm sure you know by now, one other chart to keep an eye on, apart from Ethereum, is the stock market. So I think it is quite important to keep an eye on what the stock market is doing as well. But going back to the chart of Ethereum just for a moment, take a look at this. This is Ethereum on a much more long-term chart, on the weekly chart. And guys, this chart over here of Ethereum makes me very bullish on ETH. I think one of the cryptos that could do very well in the next few years could very likely be Ethereum. And you can see why. Take a look at this chart, you'll see that it's very bullish. We've broken through, notice that Ethereum has broken through that trend line resistance that you're seeing here, is trend line resistance, downtrend line. We've broken through that trend line and managed to sustain ourselves above it, and now it's holding above the 21 weekly average. So again, a very bullish chart, and I think my long-term perspective on Ethereum, as well as Bitcoin, by the way, remains quite bullish. I see no reason why, for example, Ethereum in the next few years, or indeed potentially the next 12 months, may, for example, test its 2018 highs near 800, and potentially in the next few years may actually test its 2017 highs near 1400. All right, guys, so again, my long-term perspective on Ethereum and Bitcoin remains quite bullish based on the charts. There is also another reason why I'm quite bullish on Ethereum. Take a look at this chart over here. Here's a chart of Ethereum on NinjaTrader. And here I'm looking at the potential Elliott wave counts. I'm using our own LT Elliott waves indicator here, you're seeing. And you can see that since the crash in March, since that bottom we made in March, we've actually put through so far a 5-wave move to the upside. So we can see a 5-wave move to the upside here in Ethereum, and so far it looks like we're tracing out a corrective wave. It appears to be right now an ABC corrective wave. Now, in case you're wondering, well, what does it matter? So what? Well, here's the reason. Because you see, guys, if we have this 5-wave move to the upside completed, which I think is quite likely, we have now this nice 5-wave move in ETH completed here by the looks of things. And this appears to be as far as I can see, this appears to be right now wave one. In other words, a much larger mega wave one, just to be clear. And if this is our wave one, this downside move appears to be wave two. Now, in case you're not familiar with this, let me explain to you why this matters. This is the Elliott wave theory structural map. By the way, for those of you not familiar with Elliott wave theory, quite simply, all it means, and put in simple terms, it means when the markets move in the direction of the major trend, they often move in 5 waves. So notice this larger wave 1 is composed of 5 smaller waves. I often compare Elliott waves to Russian dolls. Those marushkas or babushkas, I don't know what they're called exactly. But those Russian dolls, when you open one, there's a smaller one inside of them, and you open one, there's a smaller one inside of that. So it's a bit like that. You see, wave 1 is composed of 5 smaller waves. Okay, and once the wave 1 is complete, once wave 5 of wave 1 is complete, which is looking quite likely in Ethereum and Bitcoin, then we start the ABC wave to the downside. That's our wave 2. Once wave 2 is complete, okay, once this wave 2 finishes and completes, we start the next major wave 3, which, by the way, I think this could take Bitcoin eventually in the next few years towards, again, 20,000, 30,000, potentially 50,000 in Bitcoin, and I think Ethereum could eventually move to much higher levels. All right, guys, so this is one of the reasons why I look at Elliott waves. The question is, and this is the big question, have we completed the C wave of wave 2? And looking at this chart here, so I think on the balance of probabilities, it's looking quite likely, as we can see from this chart, the 5-wave move to the upside for Ethereum has likely completed, which means wave 1, okay, the wave 1 of Ethereum, the much larger wave 1, I should say, has likely finished, completed here. I think that looks to be September. Okay, that means since September, we've now been tracing out what appears to be the ABC corrective wave, the wave 2 of Ethereum. And I don't think, by the looks of things, I don't think wave 2 has completed yet. I mean, I'm not seeing any evidence as yet that the ABC waves have as yet completed. I don't think it's even clear yet whether the B wave is completed or not. Okay, it's possible the B wave may have completed, but it's not as yet clear. And I would not say it's certain. Okay, so all we're doing so far, guys, as far as Ethereum is concerned, and I would say also as far as Bitcoin is concerned, is waiting for this corrective structure, this ABC corrective structure in Bitcoin, and here in this case in Ethereum, to complete. Again, we cannot say with a high degree of probability or indeed confidence that the B wave in this structure has completed. It may have done, but as yet it may be a bit too soon to call. And I don't think the C wave as yet has shown any sign of completing either. So I will say this though, that as long as Ethereum remains below this level that you're seeing here, as long as ETH remains below 420, this dashed blue line you're seeing here, so as long as Ethereum continues to remain below this dashed line, this resistance of 420, then for the moment we could see some further consolidation, maybe some more sideways to downside action. All right, guys. Having said that, I think once Ethereum finally manages to move above, once Ethereum managed to move above 420, which I think is quite likely in the next few months, but once we see Ethereum finally completing its C wave, once we see this corrective structure completing, and once we see Ethereum moving above 420 and staying above 420, that becomes a very high probability that Ethereum has bottomed. All right, guys, so 420 is the level I'm watching as a key level of resistance. And I think if Ethereum can manage to finally push through that resistance of 420, we could finally see a bottoming structure forming in this ABC wave, and indeed the next major wave up for Ethereum in the long term, which I think, again, is bullish. Again, my long-term perspective, let me make it very clear, my long-term perspective for Ethereum, and when I say long-term, I mean the next 6 to 12 months and potentially the next few years. Again, my long-term focus and outlook on Bitcoin and Ethereum is very much bullish. In the short term, however, so in the short term, that means the next few weeks, I don't have much of a directional bias. I'm just waiting to see finally this ABC wave completing here in Ethereum and also on Bitcoin. And again, guys, the reason we're watching Ethereum is because it acts sometimes as a leading indicator for Bitcoin, as we've seen here on this chart. So this is one market to watch, as well as the stock markets as well. The stock markets also can have a major impact. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.